what you don't wanna be. Yeah. Put your faith in me. I teach to find the days and how to fly without wings. Tell me all your dreams. Tell me what you want, what you need, what you don't wanna be. Yeah. Put your faith in me. I teach to find the days and how to fly without wings.
Hey guys, you're watching Artists of the World, and I'm your host, Michaela Dene, and we're going to be hanging out with the band Company of Thieves. Okay. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in, and can you guys just start by saying your name, which band you're from, and what you do inside the band?
All right. I'm Genevieve from Company of Thieves, and I sing and write songs.
I'm Mark. I play guitar and write songs.
Okay, so how did the band start?
Ooh. Well, Mark and I met through a mutual friend in Chicago, and we started writing songs together. And, we would find open mics in coffee shops and cafes in Chicago and sort of share our songs with people and get some feedback. And eventually we put together a full band, and that's how we got to where we are now.
So the name Company of Thieves is a very interesting name. How did you come up with that? Do you want to come?
Sure. It came from, there was a local artist that we really liked at the time called Cameron McGill, and he was having a record with a similar title that caught our ears. And since then it just kind of had a lot of different meanings over the years, but we just really liked what it inspired.
Okay. So, you all are from Chicago. How has that inspired you all to write songs and just the feeling of Chicago?
Yeah, I feel like there's a really, strong work ethic in Chicago. Kind of has a hustle and bustle feel to it, and it definitely, motivated me to stay focused and to also, communicate with a lot of people about it. It's very interactive city where we can go in front of a venue at the end of the night and hand out flyers and samplers of our music, for example, and just tell people about the show, and kind of like street teaming. And that was really cool. That helped when we would write songs to share them. And as far as being inspired to write songs, there's just so many people and so much energy in that city, and it's like a hub from people all over the world. And really great public transportation. It's really easy to get to every major neighborhood where you can kind of just observe people and their environments and stuff. So a lot to see, a lot to be a part of.
Being a Midwest city, the change of seasons, I feel brings on, different parts of the year, makes you very inspired more than other times, and it's nice to have the balance of all those changes happening. Yeah.
So your sound is very cool, I think. How did you guys find so I know that you two are two different people, so how did you all come together and create such an interesting sound? And what is your background of music that got you to this point?
Well, background of music, it's always been different. I've always loved just all kinds of music. I grew up listening to a lot of the Beatles and, Billie Holiday and even Disney, and things like that. But the oldies station I would listen to with my dad. And let's see, I sang in school choir a lot, and I loved, opera, and I just loved things like that. And so I was always I love musicals and films, the scores of that. So that was a big influence of mine. Also grew up in the 90s alternative grunge era with Nirvana and things like that, and that was a big influence on me. As far as Mark and I making music together, it's definitely a spiritual thing where my spirit probably meets with his spirit somewhere and they figure out stuff, because sitting down next to each other in the same place, we're very different people, and there's something that maybe you can't see or can't hold that comes together, That's really special.
Yeah, that's a really cool concept. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what's your background of music? And
a lot of different things too. I think that's why we come together so well. And we're constantly, I don't think we found our sound yet. I think we're both people who like so many different things and are always changing and searching for a new sound. So, but as a kid, I really liked, the same thing. I grew up in the 90s, so I liked a lot of alternative stuff, and got into blues when I was young. Singer-songwriters like Neil Young, loved the Beatles. I'm trying to think. So much. I don't know. I need to it's all over the place, so it's a really hard question to ask. But yeah.
Okay.
A lot of the same stuff.
So what genre would you guys say that your music is in? I know that a lot of people say, well, that's a really hard thing to say, but if you all wanted to create a whole new genre, which I think in some way you guys have, what would you name it?
Magical pop.
Yeah. Magical, eclectic pop, soulful pop. Yeah, I mean, usually people are just like, you're other, you're alternative or something. But yeah, magical pop. I like that a lot.
So you only write the songs, or is it a collaboration?
Oh yeah, we both do. So we both like he writes a lot of the music, and I write all the lyrics, and a lot of the melodies. Sometimes we collaborate on parts of melodies. Yeah.
So can you guys explain to me the feeling of playing? Because a lot of people they're like, this is a spiritual and like a therapeutic thing for me. So it's something like that for you?
It's definitely a release. It's a healthy confrontation where instead of being afraid of something that you need to face for yourself, you kind of confront it head on with music, and it clears all kind of pain and resistance, and it's just a big relief, a release, you know what I mean?
I guess the best way to describe it is I'm very content and comfortable when I'm in a song. I could get lost in it and just be there, and it feels like you're on a different cloud. You're not really there in the room hanging out with people. You're in a whole different zone if you can tap into that. Sometimes it's hard when you play every night and there's other external forces happening, but usually it's nice. You totally get lost in the song, and I don't know how to describe what it's like unless you've been there. But yeah, it's a healthy release of a lot of your emotions that are pent up, and you don't sometimes release them in other ways, so they come out in music and comes out in song. And I don't know if that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. No, it makes sense.
Great question. It's interesting.
So how would you guys like to explain how this your trip or tour is going? Are you enjoying the experience, or is it a weird kind of experience just performing nightly and being exhausted and things like that?
It includes the physical exhaustion of being in your body, you know what I mean, and having to do it every night and travel a lot. But I think it's been really cool for me, this tour specifically, because it's been so stripped down and so personal and intimate that I feel like I'm just hanging out with the audience. I feel like I'm kind of this is me. I'm not being covered up at all.
No, it's acoustic tour, right?
Yeah. I can really sing, and they can really hear me sing. And I also feel like it's been interesting traveling with Mark, because it's just me and him on the road right now. So it's I'm taking I can observe and be aware of when maybe it's more important to listen to him through his guitar than another way, or so on and so forth. You know what I mean? There's more of his essence sometimes. He was just talking about every night when there's external factors and they get in the way, but that's not really him. That's just stuff he's handling. And so on. And same thing with me. If I'm stressed out about something, it's almost it's really nice to go through the crazy day and then come together on stage and play music, and that's the real connection. You know what I mean? That's the real conversation.
Yeah. Anything to say about that?
Yeah. Well, you said how would you describe this tour? And the whole thing is
experience that you're having.
Yeah. Well, this one in particular has been very overwhelming and surreal, in the sense that it's a big eye-opening experience for us to be so connected with our fan base, because it's really hard to be in a band and trying to make survive by it and trying to make a living. And the one thing that's really keeping us alive and keeping us going is just the overwhelming love and support that we've been able to see on a night-to-night basis. And we had no idea that after almost a year of not touring, that all these people would show up every night and pack the rooms and have a big sing-along and you know, help out with our tip jar on our merch table, which helps us get gas money. And like, it's just heartbreaking, you know, like it's just, we're very thankful and feel very lucky to, you know, although we have struggles, but you know, it's very positive. We could look in the future in a very positive way to see how, you know, supportive everyone's been. So we're very fortunate for that.
So, for people who want to do what you guys do, because the series like is about young people that want to sing and just do things, what advice would you give to them?
Yeah, I would say, just like, whenever, it's hard to give people advice, but like, it's really important to listen to yourself and to express what you're feeling and write the music that you feel like you need to write for yourself or that you want to write, and not write for other people. And also, don't be afraid to share it with whoever, anyone. Just like put it out there in the world and you'll get like response, you know what I mean? Also, I guess just like, you know, like, take it all one step at a time. Like, there's ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's going to come really fast and it's going to be like this wave over your head of like all this creativity, and sometimes it's going to be a little bit of an ebb and you need to like, you know what I mean? Like, there's times when you're putting out things and there's times you need to just take things in, you know, and it's a really nice balance. And yeah.
Some advice?
That's really hard too, because I feel like any kind of successes that we've had, or it would be so different for anyone else, because it's all in the stars and all the right place at the right time, and different factors happen differently for different people in different situations. But as far as performing music and trying to do that, like Jen said, just you have to throw out as much as you can out in the universe, and like that's all you can really do. And if in your heart you feel like you're supposed to be doing it, then you should already be I mean, I don't feel like you need anyone to be telling you to do it. You know what I mean? You just have to just take every opportunity you can and just try to share it with as many people and hope for the best. And that's all I can really say.
Yeah, and it's like a thing that, do it if you love it. If you don't love it, it's so difficult. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's really a labor of love, the whole thing. Yeah.
So something that you all want your fans to know about you, or that you want to say to them?
Just that I'm a really big nerd, and I'm really like so thankful for all of like everyone I've met along the way, all people who have become friends over the years, and just like everybody who's ever taken a moment to like share or relate to me about something that like that they found in the song that resonates with them or something. Like, it means so much to me, and I've always been so thankful to hear people singing along, because it's like, instead of it being like all on me, I feel like everyone's holding up a little piece, and it kind of like takes the weight off. And just like, I've been so blown away by everyone's support over the years, and I just love them so much.
You?
Pretty much the same. I mean, I don't think they realize that it's the one thing that's kept the band moving is their support. You know, we can't really rely on anything else, and it's been the one thing that's really fueled us and allowed us to continue to do this. The fact that people still show up and will buy the albums and like just support us, and in such an overwhelming way. I feel like we're one of those lucky bands who every band desires to have a following like what we do, like what we have. So we're very lucky and thankful for that.
Well, I hope you guys have a great show.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye. All alone, you'll be dead and gone, closer than your